Hi, in this video, I'd like to make some introduction before explain my process here before I start. So, what I'm planning to do here is sculpting the black rhino head using the new brush engine. I decided to make this sculpting using just the brush because I think this way is the best way to present to the power of these brushes. So, let's begin. The first thing that I would like to do here is to enable the symmetry, right? And I'm going to the side view, or better say, let me see here. I'm going to the side view, and with the move brush, I will quickly here make my best to more or less, and I don't have no pressure or of, it's just basic to form the silhouette of this rhino, right? So this is just to put the more or less the shape of the head, and after that I'm going to choose here the Rygaard clay drum, and I will begin to put here where more or less the location of the eyes, and my main goal here is to sculpting using this clay, this custom clay that I created from the base brushes. And this clay is very, to me it's essential. I'm going to mark here the nose more or less and the mouth area here, right? So I'm going to make here just some marks here to the skull, right? Nothing advanced here. I'm going to always begin to make this process with the skull of this animal. And as I said before, I created this brush because I am when I am sculpting, I'd love to see this kind of behavior of the brush. Would help me a lot here to have the sensation that I am sculpting in a real clay, right? Because this brush that I created left behind this brush strokes, this that remembers me. I'm using a real clay, right? So as you can see at the top of the proprietors 3DCoat, I activated to this brush the removing stretching feature, which helped me a lot to not worry about the stretching of the polygons here. And here I'm just make the to where just make the basic shapes to make this very understandable, is that I'm not going to worry about the details, right? Of course that I'm worried about just the primary forms, which I will build all my forms from this structure. So here at the lips, this rhinoceros has a very specific characteristic, which is this hook lips at the point, and all this process is very raw at the beginning, right? Nothing. I'm just rushed to make the main characteristics at the beginning, and so I can make the adjustments using the move brush in conjunction of the clay, the Rygaard clay drum that I created. So here I'm going to make some at the front view. I'm going to try to make the right width of this head, but it's too soon. And when I make the horns and other parts characteristics that is characteristic of this animal, I can make the judgment, and little by little I can make all this process appear. And I'm going to return here to the Rygaard clay drum. This clay is very good to me because it's like the name says, it's a dream, because I can make this like I'm using real clay. And I'm going to let behind all these marks, which help me to see the forms that I'm creating, and at the same time I'm trying to make the volumes grow, and I'm not worried about the details. Nothing. This moment is about details. The details process will be made, right at some moment in the future. Now it's just to try to make some things here. And here I just prepare myself, because when I have this type of the horns, the preparations of the horns, and this not means that I'm going to sculpt the horns right now, because you can see that this process will be at the right moment. I'm going to make these horns available on the head of this rhino, right? So here I'm not going to make this now. I'm just, as you can see here, I'm going to put all the marks of the bones or the key bones that are on the surface of this head. And here more or less it's the ears that I'm going just to prepare this area that makes parts of this ear. And as you can see here, it's just so simple and nothing complicated. It's just about to put the shapes, the volumes, and little by little the forms will going to appear. And all the time I'm going to see the angles that are made, that makes this rhino appears in the right places. So here, and so sometimes I stay a little bit quiet because I have to pay attention what I'm doing here and talking and explain. To me, at least at this moment, is not so easy. And by the way, I'm going to use a lot of shortcuts that, because this will make my work quicker, instead to be selecting all the time the brushes at the side. So here, just to make this bottom mouth just a little bit here, and I will make here, still working, and see the bones of this animal, this cool. And here, and this type of clay, this new brush engine is so great because we can build our custom clay, and that is clay built by me. And I choose to make this kind of clay because other peoples will see that 3DCoat is able to sculpt as you sculpting in the clay, real clay. So this process become more organic and this will make this all this the people praise to use this, right? And until now I'm not, and I mean avoid to change the brushes because this is just to find out all the, more or less the shapes that I needed. Here I'm going to put more clay here. And the most important thing is that when I have the head, I will sculpting the body so I can make the transitions here better. So it's a little bit weird now, but how the beginning process is not so pretty at the beginning, but it's just we have to start something right. So So now I'm going to change here to my Rygaard slash, and this is, as the name suggests, is to make the slash or cuts on the surface. And I'm going to use this brush now because to me this process I like to make some notations here, and this is very similar what happens when you're working with clay, and this is not about the details, it's just to mark the just marks here on the surface, and and This is not so. It help me to visualize where I can make, where I can put more clay and define some, at the same time define some places here. Right. So I'm going to turn out the move brush, and with this brush, the move brush, I will make some movements here, and here at the side view I can try to make this a little better, because I'm going to prepare here this region to grow the horns, right? And more or less to put all this big movement and try to make the forms of the side view here. Right. So I'm going to return to my Rygaard clay dream, and let me prepare even better here this region. Okay, and now I'm going to use this to help me to put on the right place here the direction that I'm going to make this go. So here the same thing, and this helps a lot to visualize it's just like the hair that sometimes when you put in character you can see better the positions of the other features on the face or the head of the animal. Here, for example, I have to put this open just a little bit more here. And make the right movements, or try to do it's more squarish shape, but as soon as as I work more and more, this is going to make more sense and revealing the animal. Now that I have this, I'm going to just make a little work a little bit better here, this hook. And I'm going to use the move brush with the remove stretching function, and I will grow this horn, and instead to make all the movements, we just go to slowly grow these horns. It will be huge horns, more or less. The shape of a sword. Now I'm going to make this movements to make just a little bit wider and fixing this the shape of this horn. And if the front view, I'm going to straight and thinner the top. And this part here will be more thicker, maybe thicker, and and now we can make the right decisions. When I talk about this, is related to the position of all the features. Okay, that's enough to the beginning of this process. And now I'm going to make the same thing to this horn here. I'm going to make this thicker, and I can grow this little by little here. And now I can make a big movement. And put here more. This front view, I'm going to make this thinner. And little by little I can make this in the right place. So with these horns, I can make some decisions here with this part here of the head, this cranium. It's cool, right? So I can make this a little bit wider, and I'm trying to see all the angles. So returning to the Rygaard clay drum, I can make more decisions and sculpting around this area here of the horns. And well, sometimes that could be appearing that I'm doing the details, but in fact I'm not. I'm just seeing if this will working, and to make this kind of visualize if this is going to make the volumes in the right places and the tail process is not now, it's just I'm preparing here this area here around the eyes because I'm going to make the eyes now. I'm just preparing the this area around it, and so that I have this cavity of the eye, the cavity of the head, sorry, I can have to deactivate the remove stretching here. And I can prepare here this area even more because I'm going, as I said before, I'm going to make the eyes right now. And this will be very simple. Let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to again choose the Rygaard clay trim, and with this brush I will make the eyes. Nothing so complicated here. I can just put here some representation of the eye, and as you can see here, I'm all the time I'm in the low resolution mesh. Okay.